Nothing quite like keeping beat with a gonk droid, right? Alright, folks. Welcome to the Battlefront's Livestream podcast. Again, for lack of a better name, I am your host, Nathan P. Butler. This is my YouTube channel, of course, where you can find things like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, exhaustive looks at some materials from Fantasy Flight games and more surface-level looks at others, basically checking out all the different products as I get a chance to review them, that being, the card game, the miniatures, pretty much everything. RPG books, though those are few and far between as far as the reviews go because it takes so long to get through them, but I do wind up reviewing all of them. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, quite literally, over at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. Perhaps that one is more exhaustive than most people will actually need. About 3,000 pages, give or take now, having been working on it since 1997-ish. And of course, I do a lot of podcasting. You can find me these days on Cloud City Casino and on Star Wars Beyond the Films, both over at StarWarsReport.com, both of which can also be found on Facebook, as can the Star Wars Timeline Gold. That's Facebook.com/SW Beyond Films, SW Timeline Gold, and Cloud City Casino. This is actually a big day for me in that it is the 14th anniversary today of my entry into Star Wars podcasting. It's also the 14th anniversary of Attack of the Clones airing in theaters, which is kind of the point. I went to go see the film, came home, and shortly after coming home, I recorded the first episode of my first podcast, Chrono Radio. So, kind of makes sense that those would be connected together. Not a lot of vlogs recently, or from the Star Wars Home Video Library videos, because... excuse me. Because my wife and I are in the process of moving right now, or getting ready to move. We close on a house here in about a little less than 2 weeks. And because of that, the room in which I would usually record those types of things is all, the floor is full of stuff. Packed stuff. This, though, is a different room, not packed up, albeit kind of messy here, which is where I record the live stream, so this, at least, can keep on going. I figured this time, if anything, what I'll do is give a few thoughts on the Ultimate Upgrade Pack, which apparently has been available for a while. I've only just now seen it, not picking it up at this point, and we'll just run through some playing with the different weapons to see what all the different weapons look like, essentially, when they're in use as a side-by-side comparison, because I am still about 2,500 away, 2,400 away from being able to get the next HUT contract, so there's nothing really that I need to do right now. Fun. So we'll just jump in here. Multiplayer. I don't really care which mode, so I guess I'll just go to Outer Rim. And let it spin. To find us a slot. Alright, joining game. I don't know what the game is. It's 8 and 8, but most of the... There you go, extraction. Say most of the modes are 8 on 8, 16. In Outer Rim. There we go. So, one of the things that I've been made aware of recently that I actually did not know about was this upgrade pack, this Ultimate Upgrade Pack that you can get for the game, which basically costs you $20, and it gets you all the blasters unlocked. Now, this is the core blaster set, so I'm assuming nothing that was added with the HUT contracts and Outer Rim and all that, but you got access to all the blasters early on. You get access to all the star cards, and all the star cards, well, at least, again, all the original ones, and they're all in their upgraded form. So basically, what you'd be paying for is a leg up, so that if you don't want to do the grind, the inexorable, annoying grind of this game, you'd be able to just jump. I don't know quite how I feel about that one, but, I mean, it's not horrible. Some have argued that it is essentially pay to win. I wouldn't necessarily pay to win so much as it's sort of pay to jump ahead. Pay to win suggests that it gives you some huge advantage. Given that... that was weird. Given that you can get any of those by simply unlocking them within the game, to me it's sort of just... and there's none of those that are necessarily all that much of a leg up on everything else except maybe the jump pack. It sort of feels like a money pit to me, but not a horrible, terrible thing. It's just one of those things where, hey, they've sort of priced it to work, Like, if you really don't want to spend $20, you don't have to. You can just unlock everything, which is what I've been in the process of slowly but surely doing. If you really don't want to spend the time, then shoot, pay the $20. not everything's going to be particularly useful, but go ahead and pay the 20 bucks and access it. That's fine. It just strikes me as something that's a little, like, you can make the argument that, well, it's overpriced, 20 bucks. Well, yeah, but the idea is to essentially deter people from going that route. So it's essentially just for those who are really desperate. So 20 bucks to unlock all the star cards and all the blasters. Oh, okay. If you're really that desperate, go for it. I find it's easier just to play the stinking game, but whatever. Open! I know that Michael and I will be discussing that probably on the next Cloud City scene to hear his thoughts on it. Alright, so yeah, we're using the DLT-19 to start with here. This is a heavy blaster, high rate of fire, high cooling power. I have no HUT contracts active right now, so I don't really care what I'm doing. So much just running around, killing fools.
The Imperials have stopped the shipment's progress.
Ah, he turned a shield on. Smoked! Alright, so that's your first heavy blaster here. Again, side-by-side comparison. Next heavy blaster is the RT-97C, high rate of fire, high cooling power. Also, actually one that I liked fairly early on. Don't play with it much these days. Wow, I got started way the hell back there. Hey, it's a charge. Hey, she's a woman and she's racking up charges and it ain't on a credit card. Wow, am I right? Oh!
We're in control of the shipment. Stay close to it.
Dun, 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 die! Shot through the back, and I'm to blame. Y'all ought to, like, pay attention to what y'all doing. I say with great irony, because I usually don't for myself. I do like the rapid fire capability of these heavy blasters. Spider Saber, you have missed basically nothing. I just started up a few minutes ago. One thing I did was make a quick comment about the what's apparently the ultimate upgrade pack, where basically you can spend 20 bucks, unlock all the weapons initially, and unlock the upgraded version of all star cards for those who don't want to do the grind. Might have been something interesting early on in playing the game, but now I kind of feel like it's not for me. But, you know, it might be for some, and that's fine. Just falls into the category sort of whatever for me. Oh, no! What? I was going to say, I did that whole switch him out thing. And I can't choose! Alright, Nine, you're on your home planet. Go kill some fools. The enemy locked, but I can't tell where. Oh, it's that stupid thing. Alright. Hey, Brian. Just running around like an idiot right now. There's our next checkpoint over here. But it's way the hell over here. And I keep getting my feet caught in the scenery and jerking back and forth because of this lag. Get out ahead of it here. Drop a turret. Bye-bye to your head. Seeing where the blaster shot. Oh, okay, coming from there. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? You know, the guy on Terminator. There needs to be subtitles or something like that, because you know that they could just be sitting there in the sound booth when they're recording these lines for Nine Numb and Greedo and just be making shit up as they go along. Chicken sandwich! What do you say? I think you said chicken sandwich. No, see, in Sulliston it's a battle cry. No, bullshit. Witamutagu? Like Uta Guta? I both love and hate the little bits here with the like the magma on the floor, because it's a neat little thing for the environment to actually matter, but at the same time it's like, okay, dead. It's like it feels like a waste. You know, if you're losing health, then it's not really much of a point. Okay, so I was doing a side-by-side blaster comparison for the video here. So we got DLT-19 for Heavy Blaster RT-97C. Any other Heavy Blasters? T-21, which is different than the T-21B, right? The T-21B doesn't count as a Heavy Blaster. It counts as a targeting rifle or targeting blaster, even though it's essentially a modification of this same gun. I personally prefer the B to this one, but whatever. Help to take into account getting damaged when I'm dropping. I do.
Good job getting the objective moving.
Good job getting the objective moving, he says to everyone, even though it wasn't everyone that did it. Alright.
No, darn! Stormtroopers in the area.
Blast to the back. So yeah, I mean, it's an alright one. Not a favorite of mine. Any other heavies? Any other heavies? No more heavies. So we're back to pistols. Where am I going? I'm going over here.
The shipment has been held up. Get those Imperials away from it.
Watch out for stormtroopers.
Got it? You got it, Holmes? How's about that little, how about that shield generator? How's about that shield generator? How's about... Where is it? There it is. Now it's up. Still killed by gas. Whew, which is going to be a fun friggin' hut contract to do, killing X amount with Dioxis. You! Rhodius! Bastard! You'd almost think he heard me.
Understand the words that are coming out of my... Ah, shit!
Lots.
Keep that shipment moving.
Didn't switch weapons. Should've. Again, fan of these, the auto fire, but not necessarily of the DH-17 here. Alright, so blaster pistol. Next blaster pistol is gonna be the SE-14C. Doesn't really look like it, but okay. Oh, Dioxis. Speaking of Dioxis, realize the entire prequel trilogy could have been avoided if the droids and Newt Gunray, instead of being all Yeah, open up the door and check on those Jedi and destroy what's left of them. If they'd just been like, you know what, we put poison gas in there, but let's just leave them for like half an hour or something. Then we'll check and see if there's anything left of them. Let's give it plenty of time that they can't do any kind of like Jedi breath holding. None of that shit. Let's just leave them. Ah, didn't change guns. This is not bad. I think it's actually one that I ran with for a little while. Arrow? Oh. Captain Franix. Not Francis. Franix. Alright, let's see. I'm over here. DH-17 blaster pistol. Oh, it didn't change. That was my issue. Choose it, damn it! That's the one that I've used before.
We need to get it going again.
SE-14C or whatever. Go around. So planning ahead falls under the come up with something to talk about. There ain't no questions kind of thing. Speaking of planning ahead, earlier, my plan right now is that I will be doing a series of sort of Let's Play live streams soon, using the Uncharted series. I've played through Golden Abyss on the Vita, platinumed it. That one I can't do a live stream with. A little burst fire here. Simply because there's just no way for me to stream off of the Vita. But I've got... I've platinumed 2 and 3 on the PS3. Never bothered yet with the first one on PS3 as far as platinuming, but played it through many times. In the middle of my first full playthrough of Uncharted 4 right now on PS4, and my plan is that as soon as my Nathan Drake collection for PS4 arrives later this week, and I finish up 4's first run-through, then I'm going to start playing Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4 in sequence on the live streams. And I figured that'd be a good time to, you know, address the story. It's probably one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, so I think it makes sense that if I'm going to do something I enjoy and talk about something I enjoy, why not do it on the stream? I very much like to do that with the Force Unleashed. Unfortunately, I can't. I've got Force Unleashed sitting here for the, let's see, for the PSP on the PSP Go, not for the Vita, there isn't one. The different ones for the DS, which can be played on the 3DS, the PS3 copies, the Xbox 360 copy, the Xbox One copy because of the compatibility thing, even the Wii version that can be played on the Wii U. Lots and lots of versions of friggin' the Force Unleashed. Unfortunately, there isn't a PS4 version. You can't play the PS3 version on the PS4 at this point. And while I can play the Xbox 360 version on the Xbox One doesn't have the ability to natively stream to YouTube. You can record and upload to YouTube. You can't natively stream to YouTube. So that'll be something in the near... What the hell are you guys doing? That'll be something in the near future to try out, but it's not something that I'm really in a position to be able to pull off just yet. We're gonna lose! We're gonna lose because of Vader! Hey, get it? 3, 2, 1, click! Always gotta try to remember to do that at the end. Which makes me wonder, like, if this was the Russian version of the game, would it be Nyet? And if so, that's freaking awesome. Hello, Fab. Just kind of screwing around. If there's questions that come up, jumping into it. Hello, Alistair. Or is it Alistair or Alistair? You know, just picking up questions and stuff as we go along here. Only things I've really delved into is I'm slowly working my way through the different weapons just to kind of show what they all look like in one stream, if at all possible. And they made comments about how the $20 Ultimate Upgrade set, whatever you want to call it, may be a good value for those who are just starting out and don't want to grind, but probably not at this point for most. And so on, and so on, and so on. Whew. And yeah, the Uncharted games are fantastic. I would sort of describe it as what if Indiana Jones were in the modern day. Graphically, the newest one is incredible, particularly the facial expression particularly the facial expressions and the way they managed to capture those. But I'm still sort of working my way through it. Okay, DL44 I've used plenty of times, but we'll do DL44, then jump to the DL18.
Prevent the rebels from extracting the shipment.
Okay. So I ran through it. Alright, it's extraction again. There's the checkpoint. Here's the little thingy. Whee!
Watch out for enemy units.
And there's a probe droid for your troubles there, sir.
This situation under control.
We have discovered the Jedi Skywalker nearby. Show no mercy to that trick.
Damn! Just smack the guy already! Holy shit!
Get going!
Oh, Dioxis! Oh no! Somebody's giving me gas! I hate it when people give me gas. Usually that's that irritable bowel syndrome, but sometimes people just give me gas.
The shipment is moving. We are
No, it
rapidly
ain't!
losing control of
Just
this
show it!
situation.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
La la la.
Eat it! Oh, it did work. Maybe somebody else killed him, did it? Show wasn't me! Alright, DL44, nicely powered. They sort of debuffed it a little bit. They nerfed it just a tiny bit. Then we got two others that count as blaster pistols. The DL18, this is one you get with the HUT contract. In fact, I think I actually got it during the last live stream.
Maintain control of the shipment.
But it's essentially Luke's... Well, it's not even Luke's. It's not even Luke's that he got. I mean, it's not one that Luke intentionally was carrying in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. It's one that he grabs from the Gamorrean Guard. But it's essentially the one that's being carried around by Kanan Jarrus on Rebels, for what that's worth. Just got a little bit of notice today, by the way, for those who followed Rebels Roundtable and are awaiting word on that new project that Mark Hurleman and Barrett Lawton are putting together. There's some movement on that. They're doing some test stuff in the near future. And it looks like I'll be at least a minor part of it, not
They have us outnumbered.
a regular for the discussion or anything like that, because I just don't have time for that sort of thing. But I will be a part of the process. Why are we... Really? Is there a HUT contract for long bomb shots and prayer?
Enemies in the area.
Not that I'm doing all that much better. Ah, I forgot to switch weapons. I'm so used to just the reflexive, alright, whatever, click. And hitting square or triangle, usually triangle.
Keep the rebels away from it.
And just completely ignoring trying to change the gun.
Hostiles ahead.
Die, Luke Skywalker! Maybe not. Maybe not so much die, Luke
From moving any
Skywalker.
further. You must stop the shipment from being
And I didn't do it
extracted.
again. I keep... Change your damn gun!
Enemy units nearby.
Uh-oh. He's under me somewhere. He gonna kill me.
That is the end of Skywalker.
Ah,
Now
he did.
we'll
That's
crush
good.
this rebellion. Stay sharp.
With one swift stroke. Oh! Alright, now I can switch guns. Now I can actually remember to switch. And I was still using the DL44. I keep doing that. I keep switching to it, and I'll hit the button to jump into the match. So this is the Luke one. Yeah, you can sort of see it there in my hand. There you go.
Much better. Now, keep the rebels away from that shipment.
We have hired Boba Fett to provide backup.
You do a fairly quick rapid fire with it. I still think I like the DL-44 better than this one, though. And I actually kind of like the Rodian one better than the DL-44, just based on my play the other day. So yeah, so faster fire, pistol, not a biggie. And then the other one, this is the other one that you unlock with another HUT contract, which is the DT-12. It's called the DT-12 on here. It's just called the Rodian Blaster on the whatchamacallit on the contract, but it's the same thing. Best way to introduce Star Wars films, like to easily understand them. I would go with just the order that they originally were released in. So, you know, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, or depending. I mean, sort of depends on. Hey, look, man. Sort of depends on whether or not the Anakin Vader thing has already been spoiled. Because if the Anakin Vader thing's already been spoiled, you could just go 1 through 7. I think it'd probably have a better chance of latching on if it was in release order. But if you want to go for something that sort of plays into the storytelling, you could do the 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, which basically gives you which basically gives you the big revelation about Vader being Luke's father, and then is almost using the prequels like they're a flashback. And I have no idea. Yes. Scheiße! Good. Did I not have my personal shield up? How exactly did that work? And again, I didn't change them. Again, though, it's a nice. I mean, it's not as. Whoop, it's not as rapid at firing as the. Go the right way. Not as rapid at firing than whatchamacallit, than Luke's little blaster there. But it's a nice one if you keep using the DL-44. You like the feel of the DL-44, but you're just getting sick of constantly using it. This is a nice alternative to it. Oh! Smoked! Which one of the weapons we looked at a moment ago? Alright. So that's pistols. Heavy blaster's done. Blaster pistol's done. Heavy blaster again. Blaster rifle next. And I'll actually choose it this time. And yeah, it does then spoil the whole Luke and Leia being brother and sister, but I don't think that's nearly as big a spoiler, you know? But yeah, if you're wanting to maintain that, then you definitely want to make sure that it's what, did my proximity mine not drop? Then you definitely want to make, yeah, it didn't. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing the release order. Cool. Yeah, definitely a good place to start with the originals. Although I'm very curious if you were to start with the. This isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. If you were to start with the special editions, or even start with the Blu-ray editions, right? The newest cuts of the films. Whether or not seeing that and then seeing the originals, what someone would prefer, who's totally fresh to it all.
Choose this path.
And yeah, I do kind of like this one. It's as far as the gun goes, I prefer the heavy blasters myself to this one because they fire a little bit faster. And I tend to like using stuff like the auto rifles and whatnot on Destiny, for instance. But of the blaster rifles, this one's pretty decent. I play with it for a little while as my main, my default choice. next. Then for blaster rifles, we have the E11. This is what I believe this is the one that Michael swears by. I don't think there's really much in the way of blaster rifles left. They're just targeting rifles for those. And our one shock blaster. Oh no, I guess it's the E3. Alright.
Take whatever
Jumping with the
measures you
E11.
must to keep the rebel shipment offline.
Again, decent firing speed. Head-to-head going up against a heavy blaster rifle, though I find that it just doesn't, or a heavy blaster, just doesn't quite get the job done as well. Where do you think y'all going?
From moving again.
Gotta hold it for about another 5 minutes.
We got rebels in the area.
Woo! Back to bomb. I think they call it a back to something else other than bomb, because back to it good. Oh, you mothers! Problem we have is we're going away and no access to a Blu-ray player. She doesn't want me to take anything heavy. Then, I mean, in theory, well, you'd have to buy something new, though. If they did anything like what they did here, in the US in 2013, there were Blu-ray DVD combo packs that for the first time had the Blu-ray cuts on DVD. So you can show her the 2011 cuts without necessarily needing it to be Blu-ray. Any other DVD release is going to be those 2004 cuts of them. Alright, jumping from E11 to blaster rifle, the EE3. Play with this for a little while. This was something that Mark Hurleman of Star Wars Beyond the Films really enjoyed using for a while. I like the burst kills, or the burst shots to an extent, but the timing between them is what gets me. So, this kind of falls under that category of meh to me. Oh. Yes, of course the Donald Trump-Ben Carson relationship is weird. Trump repeatedly called him stuff like a child molester, and he's like, oh, but he's so great. Because Ben Carson doesn't have any principles anymore. I need to stay in the limelight somehow. Someone help me. Okay, so we've looked at heavy blasters, blaster pistols, blaster rifles. Go with the shock blaster, which is actually what I'm assuming I'm going to need for my next HUT contract when I finally get to 8,000 credits, if I'm not there yet. There's one for Slug Thrower 2 that uses the shock blaster, so that'll be my next one. And for those of you who weren't on the stream a little while earlier, my next big streaming plan is going to be... Release it! Release it! Release it! Cannot deploy here. The next big plan for me as far as streaming goes is I'm going to be doing live streams of, like, Let's Play style live streams all the way through the 4 console Uncharted games. I do all 5 of them. I guess 6 if you count the card game, but you can't do, you can't play Uncharted. God damn, why is it not deploying the freaking... Keep trying to deploy the probe droid. I'm getting killed in the process of trying to get close enough to deploy the fucking probe droid. But every time I press it, it's not deploying. Can't deploy it here. But yeah, can't do the Vita one, Golden Abyss, because it's a PS Vita exclusive. I've got it, but I can't stream it. But I should have the PS4 version of the Nathan Drake collection probably Wednesday. So depending on how the week goes, I may even start that this week. I'm trying to finish Uncharted 4 first, because I want to be able to kind of give some analysis of the story as I go along. I may even go through and replay Golden Abyss before trying to start streaming them, just to kind of have that in the back of my mind. But I love the series. I figured it would be fun to run through. Nice fun things to react to other than constantly a storyless kind of tale. Wait a second. I thought I was switching to the shock blaster, and I didn't. I freaking did it again, didn't I? Son of a... I can take care of that real quick. I done killed myself. Which is alright. Because, you know, these days, apparently, that's the trend. Oh, wait, sorry. No, that's just when we vote for our own demise. My bad. I do like the shock blaster. The problem with the shock blaster is that for all of its stopping power, it doesn't have very huge range, and it's a really slow reload, or slow move to the next fire, the next shot, the equivalent of a shotgun in most games. So, I say they did nothing like a Blu-ray DVD combo. They sold them separate to get. That sucks. Yeah, over here what they did was in 04 you got well, talking about the original trilogy at least. In 04 you got the set of the 2004 DVD versions of each film on its own disc, then a bonus disc with stuff like Empire of Dreams in it. Then you had a 2005 set that removed the bonus disc and everything else was just repackaged. And then in 2006 they repackaged those same discs again with bonus discs. In this case, the bonus discs were those ones with the unaltered trilogy in them. So there were 2 disc sets, no box set unless you got it with the collector's tin at Best Buy. Then in 2008, they took those exact same discs, put them in thin cases, stuck them in a slip case, and sold it as a set. But then they finally, when they re-released the Blu-rays in 13, they added a DVD version of the Blu-ray cut. Sorry, checking the class. As a bonus feature, essentially, kind of. All right, what are we doing now? Blast? Yeah, fine, why not? I'll run another one with the shock blaster, and the next death I'll switch to something else. I'm trying to get through all of them, but I'm also trying not to go beyond about an hour, because there's not really much of a theme to this live stream, nor is there a whole lot of, you know, questions, for instance, to deal with. So I'm trying to be a little judicious with the time here. For what it's worth, there will probably not be much in the way of other live streams for me or from me for Disney Infinity because of what happened with them recently shutting it down. But I may just do like some quick run-throughs of Toy Box Takeover and that sort of thing just to kind of let folks see what those look like, because now you can probably get all the Disney Infinity stuff in a lot of places at a bargain, or you will be able to soon because the game itself is being discontinued. And let's see, and if anybody knows how, without buying specialized equipment, if anybody knows how to do streaming to YouTube off of an Xbox One, if somebody can tell me how to do that, or figure out a way for me to get gameplay like that put up to YouTube as a stream, or even if it's just a long recording session at a time instead of little clips, then I guarantee you I'll do the Force Unleashed that way. Because I love those games. But, not a clue if I'm going to be able to make that happen, because the Xbox 360 streaming is not something I've messed around with, because as soon as I found out you couldn't do it directly to YouTube, I said screw it, because I want to build it all into the same stream here. Ah, you bastard! Avenge me! Let's see. Kenny is asking, which Star Wars... Oh, shoot! And I completely missed it, Kenny. Something about which Star Wars series something, if you want to repost the question. Yeah, I was not a huge... Damn it. I'm looking over here instead of over here. Or I guess for you guys, I'm looking down here instead of over there. Yeah, with Disney Infinity dying, I mean, I got into Disney Infinity 2.0 for the Marvel stuff. When I heard that they were going to be doing Star Wars stuff in the next one, I want to kind of get a feel for it. And I wound up collecting all of the Marvel figures, including that Black Spider-Man that at least initially was a Vita-only one. So I've got 2.0 for PS4, 2.0 for Vita, wasn't charged up yet. The 3 for the PS4, the free 1.0 for Wii U, because the Wii U one was so bad that they gave you the Wii U version of the first one for free. And then with the other, with the the 3DS was the other one that was a very different game than the rest of them. I picked that one up for one because I was doing the episodes on here. So quite a few. I got tons and tons of figures, all the Marvel, all the Star Wars, and a bunch of other ones. But there's nothing beyond Marvel Battlegrounds that really intrigues me. I picked up the Star Wars playsets. I picked up the Core Sets original playset from 1 because it comes with it, and I picked up all the Marvel playsets, Marvel and Star Wars. But beyond that, I haven't picked up any other playsets at all. Haven't cared. And there's nothing about the ones that are coming out, the last 2 that are coming out, which I don't even remember what they are, that were intriguing to me at all. Ah, and I lost the question again, son of a... About the comics. Force Awakens playset could have been so much better. They had to avoid spoilers. Yeah, and it wound up with this ridiculous... It was very frustrating when I played that. I did the live stream, and it was a very frustrating game to try to live stream, particularly given some of the crappiness, like the way that they handled the final battle with Kylo Ren. That's all about use your staff and throw frickin' barrels all over the place. Yeah. Ah. God, I can hear it. Yeah, I mean, you can convert the VHS fairly easily, thankfully. I'm actually right now, I'm hoping that at some point, I don't know when, it just depends on when the money is there. My wife and I have talked about me getting a Laserdisc player, a CED player, and a Betamax player, so that I could see if the capturing dongle and software that I've got for VHS would actually allow me to capture those also. I don't know if it will or not. I would assume that it will. I think it's just whatever comes out of that particular... Drop the turret. Whatever comes out of that particular cord works. Yeah, Han just disappeared. What the... What's a shot like right next to him? Okay, so yeah, so we've seen that one. That's the only shock blaster, so we move to targeting rifle, which is the only other category left. We got the T-21B to look at. We got the DLT-19X and the Relby V10. So here we go. T-21B. This was sort of my go-to weapon for a long time. It still kind of is. It's this or usually one of the heavy blasters. Unless I'm doing a contract that specifically requires a particular weapon type. Because I like the targeting blaster for its range. And it's got some pretty good stopping power for its range. It's no shock blaster, but it also shoots a hell of a lot further. Thank you. Now I can read. Okay. Which Star Wars comic series, past and present, either from the Legends of Story Group canon, has a feel of DC's Infinite Crisis or Marvel's Civil War? You're talking about, like, which one sort of felt like game changers? Game changers. I would say Dark Empire. Because of the era it's in. And what it does for the Luke character at times. Plus, it's also got the birth of Anakin, for what it's worth. I would say Legacy, because it's giving us a window into a completely different time period. Same thing with Tales of the Jedi. There really aren't a lot that feel like, you know, true game changers in some respects. I mean, they all kind of feel like they're part of the same big tapestry, but it's not like you got big crossovers. The only time they really did a big crossover in Legends was Vector, and while it was interesting that it had an impact on KOTOR to an extent, to a large extent, it had an impact on Legacy to a large extent, it did virtually nothing for Rebellion. In fact, it was the last arc for Rebellion. Rebellion was pretty horrible. Whoa, get it! Go, 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 go. And then you had, Dark Times, it had relatively little impact in. Of course, very little in Dark Times had any impact at all. And then, of course, they've done the recent one with Vader Down. Vader Down really didn't feel like it was much of a big, impactful story either. It felt like kind of everybody's sort of back to where they were, except Afra's in custody, but we know she won't last in, be in custody all that long. And Vader is now getting an explanation, kind of, for what happened with those other little wannabe apprentice people, but, man. That's the thing about it being a shared universe, or a large universe that you're expanding upon. When you're dealing with something like the Marvel Comics, they don't necessarily always tie in together, so it's a big deal when you link them with a big crossover. But not so much now, because they're happening all the time. With Star Wars, things are already so interconnected. Like when they said, okay, we're going to do a crossover and call it Vader Down. Well, does it really need to be a crossover? I mean, it connects both series, but you could just as easily have used those characters in each other's comics without it being an issue. Hell, they're using Afra right now on Star Wars with the Rebel jail thing. You know, that doesn't have to be a crossover. So it's just weird. I mean, Star Wars just isn't something that lends itself to crossovers because it already, by its nature, sort of crosses everything with everything. You know? That said, this is just switch weapons here. That said, it's funny thinking about this now. It's the DLT. This is one of the HUT contract ones. It's the one that basically saves up. No, it's the rate of fire sucks, but its damage is high and its range is high. It's basically like a sniper rifle. It puts all of the charge into the one shot that you get, but then it takes a little bit. Thunk. It takes a little bit to be ready to fire again. We gonna lose. Yeah, crossover as ad speak, absolutely.
We're
Jared,
losing this
absolutely.
and are running out of time.
Is it Gimarian? Gimarian? Is it? I'm not sure how to pronounce. I want to make sure I'm actually pronouncing it correctly if I'm speaking to someone. All right, so yeah, so fire. Now you automatically got to recharge. Fire up, and I didn't do it on time because that guy started on me. So it's basically a sniperish rifle. If you miss, you're screwed. Not a big fan of this one. It was one of the first HUT contracts that I did, and then I immediately regretted it. That was just pure friggin' luck. Ah! Oh, I got your arm. But I got your arm with the one that's really powerful. Yeah, see, this is me not really caring. We'll jump to the other one. I think it's the last of the targeting rifles and the last of the weapons to show on the stream here. Because, again, there's no real thread to this one. Just, Ultimate Upgrade Bundle may be good for those who don't want to grind right now. At least to start with. But it is $20 to get access to all the original weapons and to get access to the upgraded versions of all the different star cards. I still have a bunch of star cards that aren't upgraded, so if it wasn't 20, I might actually do it. With it being 20 might be a good bargain for someone who's new. For someone who's been playing for a while, probably not, but that kind of works because it is, it's sort of priced to limit who it is that's actually going to buy it. There's the other one, the Relby, another one from a HUT contract. And then, oh, and just sort of announcing that I'm going to be doing live stream Let's Plays of all four Uncharted, well, all four console Uncharted games once I have them for the PS4 in the coming weeks. Though I may delay that just a little bit to play back through Golden Abyss on the Vita before playing them. What do I think of Lando and Dengar being the heroes for Cloud City? I think I'm kind of curious how they're going to work. Thematically, I think it's pretty cool because they actually made them match. A lot of us were wondering why Lando wasn't the hero for this one, but it kind of makes sense if you got a Bespin setting. That makes perfect sense. We're not going to start doing this thing with the...
Oh, yeah!
Never mind. We've had this thing before where we're doing the invitations constantly in the middle of streams and outside of streams. Generally, okay, so that's the invitation's there.
Regroup and regain control of those resources.
I'm not able to respond to it because I'm doing the stream. That should be the signal to say, okay. Because that's when I have to remove folks so it doesn't keep constantly popping up. Yeah, so thematically it makes perfect sense that they would be with Bespin. And I guess in theory, thematically it makes sense here, really, that we had 9-Num because this is Sullust. Me and Michael were saying last time it kind of just sort of feels like they chose 9-Num because this was Sullust, and then beyond that for Greedo they were just like, well, who else can we give similar controls to Greedo to, as opposed to actually thinking through who would make sense as a villain to be here. But I guess in theory it makes sense because it's Tatooine and Jabba's palace. He worked for Jabba even though we don't really Siam Jabba's palace per se. So I mean, it sort of fits, but not exactly. And then whatchamacallit? Then you've got you bastard. Then Dengar, he fits to a degree. I mean, he was at least in Empire Strikes Back in the segment of the film that had Cloud City in it, so it sort of makes sense. I'm kind of curious who they're going to have do the voice of Dengar. I mean, a lot of these voices in this game are pretty horrible for who they're supposed to be sounding like, but I wonder if they're going to bring in, what's his name, Shaun of the Dead, to do the Dengar voice again. Unkar Plut. Mr. I hate the prequels, I hate the prequels, I hate everything about the prequel era. Oh, you're going to cast me in Clone Wars? Awesome, I love Star Wars again! That asshat. And yeah, Alistair, I gotta agree. I mean, I think that was kind of a shock that in the UK there was only those. Yeah, Simon Pegg, thank you. That they only had those sleeves as the bonuses, and from what I understand, aren't they? I mean, it's just the sleeves, right? The packaging underneath looks the exact same, don't they? It's kind of like what they did here to an extent. Like if you go to Walmart and you get that BB-8 cover that opens up, and they got the little Star Wars Connections little coin or hexagon thing in it, but if you pull the slipcover off with BB-8 on it, it's just the standard Blu-ray packaging underneath. There's not actually a different case art per se. It's just a sleeve. But they did do, you know, a different kind of packaging entirely with the cardboard one for Target. So at least there's that. And then they did the Steelbook, which didn't match the other Steelbooks, but whatever. And hello, Jacob.
Solo won't be causing any more trouble.
All right, time to. I keep saying time to start paying attention. You know I'm not going to, right? I'm just saying. All right, one more last shot with this, since I haven't really been paying attention to really focus on this. Relatively fast firing. I like the Relby for that. It's still not an automatic or a burst fire. I still prefer the T-21B just because of its range. But this one, I find...
Shipment immobilized. Keep the rebels away from it.
This one I find is a little bit more versatile. If you're someone who doesn't like playing with targeting rifles, it can kind of sort of be the gateway drug to get you into targeting rifles. But by then, you've just gone through all the crap with getting the HUT contract. And yes. I'm almost at 8,000 credits. I'm almost ready. Yeah, you can totally stick a puffer pig like in front of the extraction point and scare him and blow him up. But then you need to have an emote that's like, your face did it! Right, like, oh boy there. Oh, and, wow, no digital code either? That sucks. Actually, there is a viewer of From the Star Wars Home Video Library who is being, has been kind enough to offer, we're waiting until after I move, but he's been kind enough, he's actually going to send over copies of the two UK Blu-rays, the little slipcases, and the UK DVD version, so I can feature them as one of those supplemental topics on From the Star Wars Home Video Library. Always humbling when people are willing to assist in that sort of way, because it's not something that I really ask about. It's not something I really solicit, but there have been a couple times now where people in other countries have said, hey, you know, here's something from my country that you could use. So, why not? Alright, let's switch to something that I actually... I was using the DLT-19 quite a bit recently. I'll switch back to that for now. I just want my 8,000 freaking credits so I can start the next asinine HUT contract. You know, where it's like McDonald's and you go in and you pay, but then after you pay, they don't give you the food to take to go clean the bathroom, and then when you get done with that, then they give you your food that you already paid for? Yeah, that. And, oh! Got mobbed a little bit there. I probably ought to switch to the scatter gun just to get back to getting used to using it, but that's what my next contract is going to be, dealing with that and the with that little Jawa gun. But no. And you get back into the habit of the accurate throwing explosive kills. Where you going? I see you! Oh, no! I should have thrown the explosive at him. Everybody keeps doing that. Bloodline. No S. Everybody keeps calling it Bloodlines. That's going to confuse newbies who wind up picking up the Legacy of the Force book and they have no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, I was really happy with Bloodline also. I was a little bit concerned about how she would translate. Because, I mean, when we first had Claudia Gray writing in Star Wars, it was Lost Stars. And granted, Lost Stars is my single favorite Star Wars book of the new canon by far. But, you know, it was a young adult book. So, you know, I had to wonder kind of, is she going to be able to pull off as solid a quality when she's telling us a story that's in an adult novel? And, I mean, she rocked it with Bloodline. It's actually the first time, I think, that we've really gotten a Leia-centered novel that feels like it gets Leia right. Because, of course, the last time they tried a Leia-centered novel, it was Razor's Edge, and God, that was freaking awful. Alright, and hello, Kylo. Kylo, Colin, Rin. Is it Honest? I'll stick with it. We're about done with this one anyway. We're gonna... There's, I was saying, we're about done with this. We're gonna lose, right? I got to lose, yeah? Yeah? Tell me that I got to friggin' whatever it is, 8,000, so I can get that contract and actually do something the next time that I'm playing, as opposed to just randomly running through matches. Please! Pajolista? Por favor? 151, that sucks ass. Alright. Hey, how'd you do at the extraction match? Ah, suck ass. Yeah, no kidding. Alderaanian pirates and space sports. Woo! That was fun. And a Leia that doesn't really feel like Leia. And I guess I should make the comparison. Jump out to a different mode. I should make the comparison here that, when you start looking, for instance, at the Leia stories, I mean, the most recent Leia story we had that was Leia-centered wasn't even Razor's Edge. That was the most recent novel. The previous Leia-centered story, of course, was the Princess Leia comic series by Mark Waid, which completely got the character wrong. He treated Leia as her age, as being a teenager, rather than treating Leia as if she was, Leia Organa, having no real sense... whatever. Having no real sense of being Leia Organa. She lacked the gravitas of the character. Anytime you've got a story in which Leia Organa, right, in the A New Hope era, utters the line, basically, if things would just stop going wrong for 2 seconds, That's not Leia! It makes no sense to make that Leia's character. They might as well have made it anybody else because it didn't feel like Leia at all. It fit Leia's role in that she was the Princess of Alderaan, and that plays a role in the story, but the characterization was completely out the window. Okay. And Kylo, just telling you ahead of time, just up front, I do not censor the stream. More than likely, there will be swearing every once in a while on the stream. It's sort of kind of the thing. It's not something that I necessarily do on purpose. It just tends to come out. I don't censor the stream. What am I? Oh, okay. Stuck in the middle. This just doesn't look like... I know it's supposed to be something other than regular water, but dang. That is some nastiness right there.
Rebel uplink interrupted. Proceed as per your orders.
I never read Flash, and I didn't even realize he did Kingdom Come, but I had read and been a big fan of his Irredeemable series. Irredeemable and Incorruptible were fantastic. a great sort of take on, especially Irredeemable, was sort of the take on what if Superman went bad and that sort of mindset, which of course now we've got with the Injustice Gods Among Us comic series and then game. Again, Lego fan, I'm not going to jump into matches in the midst of the stream unless it is something that has been previously arranged. I've kind of hit that a few times. All right, jumping into shot by a turret. Because anytime, and here the rationale for that is anytime in trying to do that and in trying to jump out to do that, anytime I go to any menu that's outside of the game, one, it risks cutting off the stream, and two, even if the stream keeps going, it basically gives everybody a blank screen to look at. And I'm not going to be doing that while it's on a stream.
Rebel Y-Wing has locked onto our walker.
This falls under the category of listening.
Our spies have tracked Luke Skywalker to a nearby location. Watch out for rebels.
Oh, bastard! Still, he's dead, so it counts. Bramble Brady. Not one of the Bradys that I'm necessarily used to, unless that's a nickname from Marsha.
Marsha, you just bramble all the time.
Has become a Master Scout. Says what?
An enemy bomber has locked onto our AT-AT.
I'm gonna put the blaster
rebels have
cannon right.
activated the uplink.
Come on, right here, right here, right here, right here. Or not? Fine, I'll just switch. I don't like the blaster cannon anyway. I don't like staying. There we go. Oh, what the? And ladies and gentlemen, lag.
That's the wrong way,
Right there.
trooper. What are you doing? Get back here.
Boys, I have no idea. What is it? Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's all one big map, but in theory, if you walk too far away, you're going to get killed on the Walker Assault. It has been a while since I played Walker Assault with any regularity. What are the odds?
Enemy bomber has
She
locked
was
onto our
Senator Asperian. Eh? What about Asperian? I mean, like, I'm trying to understand what the question was. What are the odds that she was Asperian? Asperian's one of the guys in the... Was Asperian the guy that thought that she was racist or something?
Rebel bombers are locked on
It's been a while since I read Leia, and I'm trying to block it out of my mind.
Hostile sighted.
Because, damn. Oh, them walkers are screwed. We need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero. I don't know what the words are. Now I can freaking choose. I wasn't able to choose the last couple of times. It just threw me straight into whoever it was. Now, granted, I think it's only done that to me when I've been playing on Outer Rim, though. Which makes me wonder if that was, you know, it's like Outer Rim is trying to push you into doing one.
You have earned the Emperor's wrath.
Oh, dude, don't even talk. You have earned the Emperor's wrath. It just sounded like somebody pretending to do a Vader voice talking into a cup. Good God, EA. Well, DICE, but, you know. Oh!
You're overcome.
You gotta give EA at least a little bit of crap for it. Now, which version of Vader are you? Are you whiny Anakin Vader? Or are you awesome Vader?
Every traitor's fate.
Again, you sound like somebody is talking into a cup, so I'm assuming crappy? Yes, exactly. That's what it sounds like. I was born to Battlefront. I didn't see Battlefront from DICE until I was already a man.
Skywalker has arrived.
I'm assuming you just sensed that, Vader, that he's arrived. Where is he? Not that it matters. I'll actually... Might as well run for a... Come on. Please, come on. Please.
This will cut you down.
Yeah, my intention was to go and kill him, but I totally didn't. I keep forgetting that you can block blaster bolts with Vader. You would think that would be a dude.
The Force is my weapon.
That and this boomstick.
I am still too powerful.
You're gonna kill me! Yeah, fighting Battlefront was nothing but to me but expensive. Seriously, I wanna give you a recreation of the Vader voice. One moment, please. One moment. All right, here we go. My impression of Battlefront Vader using a Braves cup. You don't know the power of the dark side. I swear I'm not Tom Kane. I'm somebody else. And I killed them, the women, and the children too. He's talking into a cup while he's trying to record. That or somebody's got the echo filter in their audio program and has no idea how to use it. 10% turns a prissy voice into a protocol droid. Crank it up a little bit more and change the pitch, and you've got Vader. Oh! Oh, he already did, though. Did I? Now, what I want to know is, were you guys still able to hear me the entire time? Because I got a feeling that it probably cut out. I was trying to, like, murmur at least a little bit as I was walking in there to get the cup, but it's in the other room. Or it was in the other room. Now it's exciting.
Where are you going?
Around? Where are you going? I like trying not to get shot while I'm... You know what? Just shut up. Leave me alone. Damn! Mike walking like, what'd you just get shot by? Boom. I was literally looking at the other guy like, what's going on? Oh, now Michael Morris messages me back. Now he's on. Now let's see. Yep. No, he was stuck leaving where I had actually asked him earlier if he was going to be able to join me this time, but he's had an incredibly long day at work, so he is out. We will be reporting, though, on Thursday in Cloud City Casino, and more than likely, we'll be talking about that Ultimate Upgrade Pack as well, and hopefully, if there's not a bunch of new Star Wars games, what is up with this lag? We'll be finally doing our anniversary tribute, looking back at Shadows of the Empire, which should be cool.
Be ready for hostiles.
Come on! Whoa! Yeah, but we're screwed. Unless somehow that second AT-AT is going to withstand the fire. Because I know that first one didn't. That first one it did. Yeah, we're screwed. There's no way it's going to maintain 24 health. It started at like 32, and there's still like 6 Y-Wings worth of time left. That is something, by the way, that a lot of people still haven't figured out. You understand? The Y-Wings are a time measure. Every time that it's able to get a full, whatchamacallit, with the little uplink, a full circulation with the uplink, that represents one Y-Wing, and it adds time to the counter of how long you can attack the AT-AT. That's the whole point. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. They had some pretty good deals a while ago. That's why I picked them up finally on the Xbox 360, and then you can do the. If you have them on Xbox 360, they're now backward compatible, so you can also download and play them on the Xbox One. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, I'd love to stream them, but there is no way to natively stream from the Xbox. I think the math got screwed up there for a second. To natively stream from the Xbox One directly to YouTube. If you could, I would buy a Kinect and I'd be on it like that. But until I find a way without having to buy a whole bunch of extra crap, a whole bunch of extra gear to stream to YouTube from the Xbox One, I don't really see myself doing it, unfortunately. Yeah, I haven't seen a Y-Wing shut down in a long time. In a longo time! Right, longo. Isn't that the Binksism? I'm trying to look at my credits here. It's hard to see because it's white on light blue. 7,594, so I still need... God! I still need 406 to get the next one. Son of a... Motherless goat. Probably ought to do a quicker match than Walker Assault, but whatever. Walker Assault will probably give me enough if I don't screw around or jump into the middle of a match or suck. Which, you know, those are all going to be tough ones to pull off, but we'll try.
You won't be able to scratch those walkers without calling
That's my
in Y-Wing
speaking in
support
foreign
first.
tongues.
Those uplinks need to be operational.
Ready, set, go! Everybody run for the uplinks. And you gotta be like, stupid lag. Be like Plucky Duck, I push the button.
Well done.
Elevator go up. Which is probably confusing the crap out of anybody who's particularly young watching this stream. Like, Plucky Duck, Animaniacs. It's on Netflix now. Spray and pray. Oh! And the devil shall answer. Yeah, that lag is pretty ugly, but that's okay. That is one other thing that I'm really looking forward to about LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens and streaming that. And that I'm really looking forward to about when I start doing the Let's Play live streams of Uncharted. They're not online games, or at least they're not constantly online games. They have multiplayer stuff, but they're not games that require you essentially, if you're trying to stream, to be trying to connect for the game itself and connect for the stream at the same time. You wouldn't have these like getting feet stuck in the ground. Like, I love Fighter Squadron, but you guys probably noticed I've almost never played Fighter Squadron on a live stream because the lag is so freaking terrible. In fact, after I finish this, if I still need more credits before I log off, I'll jump into Fighter Squadron, and you can see just how incredibly terrible the lag is. I still killed your guy first! By the way, imagine how disappointing this mode would be if being played by someone with dyslexia. And I say this with a family member who does. Because wouldn't it mean that all the AT-ATs, all the AT-AT walkers would be tatas, and everybody would be excited to see tatas when they came into it and they realized, where's the boobs? Oh, it's the walker things. Just saying.
We've activated the uplink station.
There's a severe lack of tatas in this mode called tatas. Yeah, the backstory missions should be pretty sweet, and the interesting thing about that is even though the LEGO versions won't be canon, there are, from what I understand, supposed to be canonical versions of similar events that we can assume took place. So, for instance, if you read the decently philosophical but otherwise god-awful C-3PO the Phantom Limb story that they recently put out, that constantly delayed C-3PO comic, there's a reference to needing information from the one droid that's in it, the one First Order droid, because they need to save Admiral Akbar, who has been captured. Well, the mission to save Admiral Akbar is told in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. And it would appear that at least some of the background for Lor San Tekka is going to be told in there. So I'm kind of stoked for that, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have a canonical version. But I would assume that it's, I mean, pretty much as soon as it comes out, I figured there'll be questions to Pablo Hidalgo, and he'll be answering whether or not there is a canonical version of each. I mean, he's been really good at answering on... yeah, I make my one sweet move of the entire game, and I'm all like, ha-ha, as if I haven't had my ass to get killed over and over again. But he's been really good at answering reader and viewer questions recently, especially on Twitter. So I would imagine that that'll be an early question coming, if it hasn't already been asked for the game. So I'm excited for that. I do think it's a sign of the times that... Oh, kill me! Let me switch to my ion stuff. It's a sign of the times, though, I think, that we're seeing a LEGO game that is going to come with... that's going to include DLC, downloadable content, on a LEGO game. Not LEGO Dimensions, where you buy the little packs and stuff like that, but a LEGO game that, honest to goodness, has DLC and pre-order bonus DLC and all that kind of stuff. That kind of... I don't know. See... LEGO games were always more pure than that. They were more for kids than that, or at least designed to be, it seemed. But now the DLC monster has taken a nice big fight out of LEGO Star Wars. In fact, I've ordered a special version of it for PS4. I don't even know what it's called. But it's a special version, some kind of deluxe thing that includes a whole bunch of extra... Well, not a whole bunch, but some extra DLC and whatnot. Right out of the gate, so pre-order bonus or deluxe edition bonus type DLC. Alright guys, I don't really see a need to be using these weapons right now, so I'm okay with dying, so let's just find ourselves an Imperial and thermal implode his ass. And I can thermal implode myself in the process and switch weapons. I keep doing that. I always tend to jump and then hit the jump pack button so I get a little bit of extra height. So now I'm jumping with no jump pack. I'm looking like an idiot. Oh, crap. I was going to kill you, but you killed yourself on the lava. Or something. Ah! And, of course, I finally do get to a point where I'm about to throw it, and I get killed before I can. But that's okay, because now I can switch hands.
Our Y-Wing's got a lock on the Imperial Walker.
Alright, there's a Y-Wing with a lock. There's another Y-Wing with a lock. Again, each one buying us time. Yeah, I think that's the thing. If DLC is optional, that's great. If DLC adds to the experience without making the original experience less than it should have been, that's fine. I'm good with that. Use the examples, I think, when Michael and I were recording for the episode that should be released, I guess, tomorrow, about like Assassin's Creed, though, where you have, in some cases, you have Assassin's Creed where you have chapters that are numbered, and there are missing numbered chapters because they were released later as DLC, which was kind of asinine. But, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, like, the Force Awakens DLC I loved, but it was DLC that was designed as extra side content, not the main story. In fact, they were alternate continuity stories with the exception of the Jedi Temple one. So, that works. Okay, so it's going to be... So it'll be the first Star Wars LEGO game, then, that has DLC. So there have been LEGO games with DLC. Well, that at least sets some precedent. Still sucks, but some precedent. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole console exclusive thing when it comes to downloadable content for games across multiple platforms. I've been on the positive side of that, thankfully, most of the time, because I don't play the Call of Duties back in the time when those were all getting all their DLC as Xbox exclusives, or Xbox timed exclusives. But I was a Destiny player when there was PlayStation DLC that was exclusive. And I could see being someone who was a player on Xbox being pissed by that. But I mean, it's sort of the name of the game these days, pretty much. Is the, you know, if you've got a big franchise and you can milk it for more cash, strike an exclusive deal with one platform or the other, at least for a timed exclusive. And theoretically, you can't be accused of never giving that content to the other, to people on the other consoles. It's just that you've delayed doing so. Which again, I mean, it's, I don't know, just the way that the business practices work out these days. Oh yeah, the Nintendo, the Wii version of the Force Unleashed was actually the same as the PS2 version and the same as the PSP version, but the Wii version had that fighting mode and had some extra, had of course the motion controls, and then the PSP version had like a fighting challenge mode. The PS2 version was pretty much just nothing extra whatsoever. It's kind of one of those why am I buying this type of things. But yeah, the next gen, or what's now thought of as the most recent previous gen version, was significantly better. I did like the Wii version of the motion controls, and I really liked the Wii version of the Force Unleashed 2 because it had this interesting mechanic where you could do the, like, you activate like a super charged up mode and you just highlight individual enemies and you're basically causing Star Killer to go and just wipe them all out really, really fast. I still wish they would have made the Force Unleashed 3 in some form or another to give us the rest of the story, but you could tell they were sort of skimping a little bit on the storytelling with 2, because, you know, the main game of the Force Unleashed 2 never even tells you if Star Killer is really Star Killer or is it a clone of Star Killer. To learn that, you have to basically play the challenges and whatnot and unlock those little, like, web comic type things, the animated comic strip type things. That are in the bonus section, and if you watch those, yeah, it's revealed that yes, he is a clone because you see the dead body of the original, but you don't get that anywhere within the game itself. And you've got the idiocy of Ram Koda, of all people, saying, hey, no one can clone a Jedi. Which is funny because, you know, in Battlefront Elite Squadron, it was his own Padawan, Fallon Gray, who got cloned to make the troopers X1 and X2 that are the hero and villain of Battlefront Elite Squadron. So why is he, of all people, dismissing the possibility of a cloned Jedi? Oh! Gotta get outside! Gotta get outside! Kill me while I'm on the way, that's okay. I need my stuff. Hey, kill me, come on! I need to switch to my ion weapons. Yeah, you know that Vader escapes. It's in the movies. Yeah, no kidding, Vader escapes. But how's about you finish your own freaking story? How about you finish the character development that you started, eh? I have a feeling that somebody with the same mindset of Randy Stradley with Rebellion, or not Rebellion, with, shoot, what was it? The new Jedi Order series that they did. Invasion was out there like, that's okay. It has reached a satisfactory conclusion. Bullshit, as Mark would say. Satisfactory conclusion, my ass! Now, here's the question, though. If they're PlayStation exclusives, are they PlayStation exclusives in perpetuity? Like, are they going to stay exclusives, or is this a timed exclusive thing? Because a lot of exclusives at this point are timed exclusives, where for a matter of months they're going to be available only on one console, but as soon as you get past a certain point, they'll be made available for the other console after they're, you know, the thing everybody thinks is cool. One of these days I ought to stream like one quick run through of a campaign mission in Battlefield 4 so you can see how all these things like the crappy jumping are mostly a remnant of the engine, not of Battlefront itself.
Have picked up Slave 1 signature in your
but then people be like, why don't you play Battlefield better? Blah, blah. I'm like, because I don't play it. Because I bought it on sale, on like a super, super low sale, so I can see how the engine compared to this game, and I don't really give a shit. That's why. I don't care. I have no idea what the plans are, because that's a set of games I don't play. I'll be honest, it seems like these days I'm playing mostly Star Wars games.
Prepare for enemy attack.
Basically Star Wars, Uncharted, and horror games for the most part. Like at some point I might re-download Until Dawn and run through that on a live stream, or something like that, or might run through the story mode of Injustice Gods Among Us and just turn it on super easy, so I'm just quickly plowing through the fighting game content. I don't know. Oh!
Keep that locator intact, so the Y-wing bombers
Game of the
can
year.
provide
Well,
air cover.
but I think there's something to be said for the idea that, okay, if you got somebody who's already bought the game and bought the DLC as it came out, they got their value at the time, but you weren't able to necessarily entice someone to buy the game or buy the game with its DLC originally, so a Game of the Year edition being cheaper might entice them. It's like that last-ditch effort. If you're talking about economics, right, it's lowering the price to push up the demand just that last little bit to get some more marginal profit out of the whole thing. That said, I think that there is also something to be said for the honesty in the practice. You need to be clear on what people are getting. Like saying, like for instance, I to some extent have a problem with the fact that with the DLC for Battlefront, we're told you're getting a season pass, you're getting 4 DLCs. We're going to tell you what the theme is for the first one, and then shortly thereafter tell you the theme for 2 of the other ones, but we're not going to tell you anything about the last one yet. So you don't quite know what you're paying for if you bought the season pass. You just know you're getting it slightly cheaper. I think initially when the season pass first went on sale, they weren't even telling how many DLCs it is that you're getting. It was just, hey, you're getting DLCs for whatever the year is. Give us $50. But I still think that because I think it's kind of normal, is less disingenuous than what they pulled with the Force Unleashed. They put out the Force Unleashed. They put out the Jedi Temple DLC that actually fits within the main story. They put out the Tatooine DLC, where it's like the Dark Star Killer. What if you did the dark ending? Blah blah blah. And then, yes, I can actually do this. If you guys can let me get to the freaking thing, I can actually pull off. I've done it before. Let me get to the damn T-47.
Switch on the uplinks. We need them operational.
Uplink
station engaged.
But, what's his name? Yes. So they put out those DLCs, and then they put out the Ultimate Sith Edition that had the Hoth level. And when asked repeatedly whether or not that Hoth level was going to be an exclusive, they said over and over again that if you want to play it, the only way to play it is going to be to buy the Ultimate Sith Edition. And then, sure enough, a matter of months later, they put it out for sale as regular DLC. And granted, putting it out as regular DLC is a good thing for those who didn't already have it. But they essentially lied through their teeth, saying, no, you're not going to be able to. Oh, son of a bitch! I thought, I dropped it. I pressed the button to drop it. Shit.
Stay sharp. We got
Hell. Yeah, we're screwed. I mean, we're going to win, but... Oh, no, sorry, Yeah, we're going to win, I think. But it kind of annoys me because I was trying to get to the freaking... I was standing on the power-up, and when I tried to drop the stupid mine earlier, it didn't drop, and I saw this and thought that I had dropped the mine, so when I'm standing on it, and we lost. Standing on it, should have gotten the T-47. Instead, I'm just standing there not able to do anything and getting blown up. Son of a motherless goat. But yes, so they basically lied about it. They said that was the only way you were going to be able to get it, then you could buy it later, and there were a lot of people who rebought the original game and all the DLC they already paid for to get basically what they could have bought separately later. Now, granted, they got it earlier by doing that, but it still angered a lot of people. And I think in a lot of ways is still having ramifications on Star Wars gamers when it comes to the extent to which we're actually willing and excited about the idea of any kind of purchasable DLC, and are very wary of it. I mean, the gaming community itself tends to be somewhat wary of it, but the Star Wars community in particular still, in many cases, feels burned by stuff going back to, like, 2008. Okay, so, finally! Alright, so now I can call it a day. I'm gonna go in, grab the one of the new hut contracts, get myself geared up for it for the next round of play, and then take off on out of here, because it is 7:20 Eastern. I got a few things I still need to take care of, or would like to take care of, prior to the little lady getting home. Alright, so where am I going? I'm going to collect unlocks, hut contracts. 3 left. We got Mandalorian Strength, which requires reaching level 3 on any trait card 5 times. It's possible. I've done it before. It's kind of painstaking and slow. I'm going to wait and do that one probably last. Hostile Negotiations, 15 kills with Dioxis Grenade, 25 kills with any explosive device, 20 cooling cells. Not nearly as painstaking, but still a little bit time-consuming because of the Dioxis Grenade aspect of it. So I'm going to go with Slug Thrower, which is 3 Shock Blaster Streaks, which is that shotgunny type thing that looks like the Jawa weapon it looks exactly like the Jawa weapon from A New Hope, acts nothing like it because it doesn't have anything to do with zapping a droid and like an ion blast. Get 30 kills with the Scattergun. That's actually relatively easy. I like the Scattergun as that sort of secondary weapon sitting there. Usually I put it in the right-hand star card slot. And kill 15 enemies with any Shock Blaster. Once you've done the Shock Blaster streaks, you should be close, if not done, with that already. I'm not sure how many count as a Shock Blaster streak, but if it's 5, then 3 streaks get you your 15 kills. So, there you go. Alright, so I'm at the counter at McDonald's. I would like a Big Mac meal, please. That'll be 8,000 credits. Just like you bought everything else by paying the money at the counter, like when you bought your cooling cell or ion torpedo. Here's my 8,000. Thank you! Now go clean the bathroom and clean the toy bin, and then I'll give you the thing you just paid for. You are paying for the privilege to work to get something. I still find that asinine. It should be either you work to get it to earn it, or you get the credits and buy it. It should not be you pay the credits, then you still gotta go earn it. That is annoying. But hey, I've got 31 credits left to spare, so, you know, that's great. That means I do need to set up my star cards for that. I do like to do this prior to playing on any given day, because that way I can just jump into the gameplay. I don't want to spend too much time doing setup, so I try to do it all kind of at the end of the process. Personal Shield, actually, I don't really need to use any particular star card. I just want to build up charges on the Personal Shield. I've got a bunch of charges on some of the other things, like the Ion Shot, but not this. So I'm going to try to build up some charges on it, then switch, and I'll just kind of keep rotating through them because I hardly ever use those center star cards. So I had that, and I'll need to switch from a blaster standpoint to the CA-87, the only shock blaster that we've got, and as they say, ta-da! Looks like she's holding I mean, I know it's a shock blaster, but it looks like she's trying to go put out a fire, she's trying to go, you know, clean up some dust, but that's alright. Before we go, let's check and see what my progress is on some of this diorama stuff. Gotta be honest with you, there's some of the diorama stuff I don't really care about, and you can't see somebody else's diorama as far as I know anyway, so their whole thing about saying that this is for prestige is stupid. Show your prestige with unlocking everything in the diorama that only a true Battlefront master can do. Okay, and I'm showing it off how? Well, you can, record it, or invite somebody over to your house, or live stream it, or, yeah, just regularly, you're just kind of screwed. So, it's not really all that prestigious. It's kind of like somebody who wins a prestigious award It never gets announced, never gets covered in the media, but they sit it at home on the mantelpiece. And they expect people to care. All right. AT-AT already unlocked 30 matches of Walker Assault. T-47 Airspeeder, 10 matches of each original Battlefront multiplayer mode. I'm at 73 out of 90. I'd have to go through my stats, and you can do that on the app. If you got this and you're trying to figure out what you still need to win to get to that 90, get the Battlefront Companion app and look at your stats, because it will break it down by match types and wins. Okay? But I'm at 17 more, but 10 of those I want to say are Hero Hunt, and I haven't even tried Hero Hunt in its new incarnation. I probably ought to start with that next time. Shadow Trooper. Hello, Master Chief. We're actually just about to end here. Shadow Trooper's already unlocked. Reached level 3 at least once on with every trait from the original game. That's the little trait cards. Again, not very tough per se. You just have to play a little more carefully than I normally do. Princess Leia is achieve rank 50. That's just a bunch of grinding. The Sullustan, complete all battle missions on master difficulty against the AI in the original game. Haven't done that because when you're playing on master difficulty against the AI on the battle missions, you die once, it leaves the little symbol there, and if you don't get back to get it before it expires, because they don't have to collect it if you're playing against the AI, as opposed to a regular player who has to collect it. They just have to expire. If it expires, the other side, I want to say, gets 40 points immediately, and that's pretty rough. Collect all the collectibles in the original game. Easy enough. Those are on the battle modes and the survival modes in the original ones. Defeat 250 soldiers while playing as a hero. Perform 250 headshot kills. Done. Complete all survival missions on master difficulty in the original game. Same kind of thing. Master difficulty is pretty heavy. Haven't really tried it that much, though. Probably ought to try it with a partner. Collect all stars on the original game. This is the thing that gets me, because one of the things about the harder difficulty on the battle modes, when you die and don't get back to your little symbol fast enough and it just expires and the other team gets like 40 or 20 or whatever it is, maybe it's 20. I guess it is, I'm trying to think, I think it is 20. One of the stars is to basically win without, or win like by a margin of 50, like never letting the other side go beyond 50 points, which means you could die twice and never again. If you die more than that and don't get back to your little symbol, which is very difficult on the size of the maps, you're just screwed, and it's been all kind of worthless as far as getting the star goes. So pretty rough. The stars also include I think it's the second highest difficulty on the survival missions without ever spending a life. That makes more sense to do with another player, because if you're playing with two players and one of you dies, it doesn't count as spending a life until you actually respawn. And if the other person can finish that wave, you automatically respawn at the end of that wave, and it doesn't count as spending a life. So definitely one to try with two players. We have the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, did that one. Earn a total of 1,500 kills as an Imperial soldier. And slowly but surely, it's just a grind. Use all-star cards and get a kill with every weapon from the original game. Not a biggie, you just got to be meticulous about doing it. If you're not sure what weapons you haven't killed somebody with, again, check out your stats in the Companion app. It'll tell you. Pardon me. Destroy 150 vehicles. Just do a lot of, whatchamacallit, do a lot of Fighter Squadron. Riding vehicles for a total of 10 hours. Again, Fighter Squadron. In Base Command, achieve a 3-star rating on the first siege in the Rebel campaign. Again, play the app, play that little cool game that's got the 3 little, in fact, I think I've described this before. I'll pull it up here while I'm talking about it. But I'll show you what they mean by that game there. Achieve rank 10, easy enough. Earn 1 million score, that's cumulative, of course. Earn a total of 1,500 kills as a Rebel soldier. Pick up and use 200 power-ups. Score 100 kills with either Millennium Falcon or Slave 1. This one actually gets easier if you get a feel for when those the hero power-ups show up in Fighter Squadron. Basically, if you wait till it's around 20 kills for one side or the other, that's usually when you'll wind up seeing the symbol show up. Try to fly low to the ground, stay kind of center map, don't draw much attention, don't get yourself killed. Keep an eye out. As soon as you see it, zip for it, grab it, activate it immediately, and then go in and play that. I've had rounds where I've played as the Millennium Falcon or Slave 1 like 3 times in a row because nobody else is going for the power-up or seeing it as fast. So you just got to kind of prep as far as that goes. Defeat 50 heroes as 9, or sorry, defeat 50 heroes in general, but this is 9 nums thing, so this is new since Outer Rim. Use all star cards and get a kill with every weapon from the Outer Rim DLC. I'd have to look and see which one I haven't used. I think I've got all of them, or at least the basic level of all of them, with the exception of the one trait card. And get a kill with every weapon from Outer Rim. I know I've played with them. Hell if I know if I actually got a kill with them. I need to check the companion app. Now, before I jump out of there, going back to this one about in base command achieve a 3-star rating in the first siege. Whatever. So, this is your companion app when you open it up. Right? And it's got the daily siege and whatnot. You click on, you click on base command. You can customize your deck using the star cards that you have. Oh! It'll load up. It's basically like, it's almost like a miniatures game meets a card game. It's very similar conceptually to something like you'd find with the X-Wing, Armada, or Imperial Assault games, and Fantasy Flight games, but much simpler. I really wish they had a physical version of this game. Kind of like if you don't want to play the Star Wars LCG because it's too complicated and you play something like Empire vs. Rebellion instead, which is a card game, this would be a nice, simpler version of playing those types of miniature games. It would help if I pressed play siege, wouldn't it? So what you got, I'm trying to show you here, is you got this sort of concentric set of circles, and they're divided into quarters. Right, so you got quadrants, and you've got your first, second, third, fourth rings. You got these enemies out here that are trying to work their way toward their base. If they hit your base shield, the shield goes down. If they get inside your base, they each have an amount of damage they deal to knock your base shields down. You're trying to destroy all the enemies before they get your health down to 0. The cannon at the center can fire. It charges up by 1, then 3, then 5 damage as it goes from turn to turn without you using it. You've got your star cards over here that do different things to help you, like that proximity, there we go, the proximity mine thing. If I do the proximity mine here, proximity bomb is a deal 5 damage to a unit. And then you got, on the other side, you got your units, you got a ground unit, T-47 airspeeder, T-65 X-Wing, that all do a certain amount of damage and so forth. And you just kind of play through and try to wipe out the enemy before they can wipe out your base. But as you get more star cards unlocked in the Battlefront game, you get those cards in this game, and they do different things. And other things that unlock are things like Han Solo or Princess Leia or Luke to play as. You unlock them by playing as them a number of times in the original game. And you earn your stars by basically how strong your characters are by the end of it, how fast you destroy the enemy, how much health you've got in your base left. It's not actually that hard once you play a little bit to get 3 stars on that first Rebel campaign mission. It seems like this one is less about a challenge, and it's more they just want to put this in here to convince people to pick up the companion app and try out base command and thereby have the app, which they might also use. Which is, decent enough, but it is the weird one. It's the only one that requires something beyond the game itself. And of course, those last 2 are the only ones that actually require DLC. So far. Whew. He keeps going, and going, and going. Nothing outlasts. I don't even have a term for that. Nothing outlasts the wannabe Harry Potter look like. Nothing outlasts the guy in the Batman shirt. Nothing outlasts the ruler of the Butlerniverse. Alright. Whew. You can go in here, by the way, and see your stats. Also, I don't feel as though it shows you enough stats because you get much more detailed stats in the app. But at least you can sort of see weapon types and whatnot from there. And your base command stats are there too. Alright, so I'm going to take off out of here. Let's see, today is Monday. So I may try to hop on and do another stream tomorrow, Tuesday, just kind of depending on what's going on for the day. Definitely will not be on Wednesday. Shouldn't be necessarily... well, maybe. I'm trying to think of whether or not Friday is possible. Friday, I can't remember if that's doable or not. I know Wednesday is not. Earlier in the day may be possible Saturday or Sunday. I may be trying to get Michael back. I know a lot of folks enjoyed seeing Michael on here from Cloud City Casino so that we could do the stream together and all. But I'll prepare to do at some point another Battlefront stream sometime in the near future. And hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have a sense of maybe when I'm going to be starting those Uncharted ones. The Uncharted Let's Play live streams. I'm going to make sure to finish up whatchamacallit first. I'm going to finish Uncharted 4 first and maybe playing Golden Abyss beforehand. So, as I head out of here, where you can find stuff, you can find Cloud City Casino, a Star Wars gaming with a little bit of collecting podcast, and Star Wars Beyond the Films about the canon and Legends expanded universes for Star Wars. You can find both of those podcasts, which I'm part of, at StarWarsReport.com. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, about 3,000 pages, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere. You can find that at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. You can find the Star Wars Timeline Gold on Facebook, Facebook.com/SWTimelineGold, or at SWFanWorks on Twitter, which is just a repeat of most of the posts from the Facebook page. Star Wars Beyond the Films is SW Beyond Films on both Twitter and Facebook. Cloud City Casino is Cloud City Casino on Facebook. I forget, honestly, what it is, if it's actually Cloud City Casino or something shorter on Twitter, so I can't say that for certain at this point. That's more Michael's bag than mine. And, of course, keep an eye out on this channel for things like from the Star Wars Home Video Library, a guide to Disney Infinity for Star Wars fans, which at this point is probably over with because Disney Infinity is essentially over with, and things like the vlog, the voice of reason, or lack thereof, for lack of a better name there. No new other content beyond streams, probably until our move is done. We close on the 27th. We plan to be moved in by hopefully middle of June. And then by then, hopefully, I'll have my Star Wars room set up that'll have either the video shelves or the bookshelves all behind me. I don't know. It's like an 11-foot wall, and I've got about 9 to 10 feet of Star Wars bookshelves and about 5 feet worth of Star Wars home video shelves. So it depends on how I can set up that room into desks and whatnot. And then where I'm going to set up the streaming, which will probably, again, be in a different room just because of needing the physical space for it. But those will be back, just not yet, because right now there is all kinds of packing stuff and huge number of boxes all over the floor. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.